Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you happen to be. Let's just jump right in. I'm going to try to make this update as quick as possible for you. We started into the rhetorical modes, blending rhetorical modes last week. You have 3 assignments that are coming up that are listed as due. To repeat what I've said before, out of the 2.3 and 3.1, you are required to do only one. You can do both if you wish. I'm going to repeat also what I said before too, because some of you I think are a little bit confused. I just want to make sure I can clear this up if possible. You're doing a blending rhetorical mode essay. It should be about TV shows. We picked TV shows because you shouldn't have to do any research about TV shows. You watch TV. Almost everybody watches TV. If you don't watch TV, email me and we'll work out some other thing that you can talk about. I've had students do things in like books or movies before in the past. The purpose is we do not want you to have to do research. It's going to be a compare and contrast essay. That's the backbone of it. So you need AB, AA, BB, one of those patterns. You have got to stick to it consistently. Notice what the most recent assignment was about that you handed in, and that was the feedback that I gave you. Yes, you've done well with the pattern. You need to work on the pattern, one or the other. You're going to have to use narration and description in it because you're going to have to summarize the episodes to some degree or the other. So that's what this assignment is about. One more rhetorical mode. You can pick any of the other rhetorical modes that are listed in the 2.0 or 3.0 module. These include things like definition, process, which process narration is, it still falls under narration. It's just a slightly different kind of narration. So a process narrative would be something like what you would see on HGTV or any of the house renovation shows. So it's still a narration. So stay away from that one. But classification, cause and effect, so forth and so on. You're going to have to pick a different one. And the reason is because you're going to use that one to sort of drive your purpose inside the essay. Again, you have to decide what the purpose is. I'm not giving you the purpose. I'm just giving you, I want you to practice this form. Now, here's why. And let me sort of go into this assignment screen here so you can look at this while I'm talking about it. Rhetorical modes are techniques that have been used for really thousands of years. They date back to the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans. They date through the church. It's all the stuff I've said before. They help you to best organize your thoughts. Now, when you came into this class, I know for a fact that you could compare and contrast things. It's just basic. That's elementary school stuff. My kids went through elementary, middle, high school. I know for a fact that those are things that they did in those grade levels. But the reason that we study them in the class is because we study methods by which you can organize your thoughts inside those structures and best do so. So you might be able to compare and contrast, but it's probably not the first thing that you thought of to organize them into AB or AABB patterns. Narrative, of course you can tell a story, but when you start telling a story, have you ever thought, okay, should I use an medias res? Should it be chronological? Which one works better for this material? Or should I use a process narrative like what I talked about just a second ago? Or if you start talking about TV shows, if you start talking about something like American Horror Story, or something else would be parallel, you probably don't think, let me define horror so that way everybody understands it in the same way that I do, and now I can effectively talk about the TV shows. That's what we're doing. We want you to practice those forms. So basically the content here doesn't necessarily matter. We practiced content before, purpose and audience. You drove your story toward a particular goal. But in this case, again, it's the form itself. I need to see that you can effectively organize your thoughts using compare and contrast. You can summarize a topic using narrative techniques and descriptive techniques, and that you understand the other modes well enough to be able to incorporate them into that structure and drive that structure toward a purpose. Let me, let's see. Okay, as a part of this, by the way, don't miss your essay checklist right there. And I apologize, but my controls for the video are hiding the back button here. Okay, I want to jump over into the 3.0 module, and I want to point out right here the sample blending modes essay. This does everything that I just said, every single thing that I just said. So as you're reading through this, and I've mentioned this essay in a prior video, I'm just going to mention it again here. Make sure that you look at what it does. It compares and contrasts. It keeps consistently the exact same structure all the way throughout. It's organized in MLA format. Everything's done the way that yours should be done as well. It italicizes the TV show, and avoids contractions. It does all the things that you're supposed to do. It does so inside that, again, it narrates inside the compare and contrast structure. So there's a paragraph on one episode, there's a paragraph on the other episode, and then it also talks about the effect that these TV shows had on life. No research was required for this, none whatsoever. When I made this essay, because I'm the one that is in charge of making the example essays in our courses, when I made this essay, I sat down, I watched the Twilight Zone episode, and then I watched the Black Mirror episode, and then I just sat down and wrote the paper, because I said, okay, I have all the material I need. I have a pretty good grasp on how these affected, the rest of reality. And I just built on what I already knew. So again, no research is required. If you're doing research, you're probably getting too far away from your purpose because you're worrying more about what you're saying rather than how you're saying it, which is, again, what I care most about in this particular essay. Okay, so that should help, I hope, to guide you into the forthcoming assignments. A couple of other words. Introduction to in-text citations. You have 3 chances at this. Make sure that you use them wisely. There's no reason you can't get 100 on the quiz. Again, this is not material that I've taught you. It's not material that's inside the modules. This is its own self-contained thing. And the purpose of it is to get you used to MLA format, or to refresh you in MLA format before we get to that part of the course down here. That's going to be one of the next major things that we do. And so I'll make sure that you have access to this going forward after the video, after this video posts, so that way you can start planning ahead as well. But that's all this is. It's just a quiz. That's a quiz as well. Both of them are. And the goal is to just get you to think about MLA before you go crashing into all of the requirements for MLA. If you have any questions, if you need any help, if you would like even a brief amount of feedback or something, please contact me. I'm always here to help. That is my job. I'm more than happy to help. So don't hesitate to reach out. Okay? I will talk to you next Sunday, and have a great week.